China has been selling off US debt at an increasing rate in the past few years. It seems like the trend is continuing, leaving questions of who will be picking up the remaining garbage debt. The Fed will be the one to print money and buy up this worthless pile of garbage. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Let's talk about China selling off the US debt. Beginning with that article right now out of Bloomberg, China's holdings of US Treasuries fell in July to the lowest level in more than 3 years. That's significant. That's very significant, in fact, because what have we seen? Since 2013, we have seen the stoppage of QE3. So at that point, after QE3 stops, they see, well, just like every other asset class, we are not going to profit as long as they don't dilute this currency any further with their quantitative easing. Let's just leave it where it is. Let's begin the sell-off and let's diversify. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of diversification out of the US debt, US dollar denominated assets into other things. Surely, I will say right off the bat that China still has a lot of US debt. But it's the trend that we need to follow. If they were to continue on this trajectory for another 3 years, for another 6 years or so on, that would be very detrimental to the US. Like I said, they have a lot, but it's the trend. That's what's important. The world's second largest economy pairs its foreign exchange reserves to support the yuan. And that's something that is crucial in the financial industry, because you look at, or I should say the economies basically, because what we see is these different currencies not rated against all the same thing, like for example rated against gold or anything else, any other particular asset that would be backing it. In fact, they're all rated against each other. And that causes a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty. And that's why they try to use a reserve currency like the US dollar, because that's supposed to be relatively stable. So you can factor in, okay, if we're going to do a deal, we're going to sign on this paper here with you, China, or Russia, or what have you, that we will want to know that in 3 years' time, everything on this contract here is still valid, that there won't be any major changes. But that isn't the case anymore because you have so much volatility. So you have companies that don't want to do research and development, that don't want to dig for do new mines, opening up this or that. They don't want to open up new offices and places all around the world. They want to basically consolidate and streamline everything. That's what's happening right now. That's a lot of different industries, in fact. The biggest foreign holder of U.S. government debt had $1.22 trillion in bonds, notes, and bills, down $22 billion from the prior month, the biggest drop since 2013. And also interesting to note is that Saudi Arabia's holdings declined for a 6th straight month. And this goes on basically to all of that rhetoric that we've been seeing about how Saudi Arabia don't release the 911 information or else we're going to sell off everything. Anyway, let's move on to the next. Very important here. I've been covering this, talking about Deutsche Bank. As you can see, their stock has declined so dramatically. This chart at the bottom doesn't show that, but you can see that it's really not a long period of time. And such a big bank. That's what really concerns me very much, because it's not your local bank around the corner credit union. It has, a small amount of people in it. We're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of derivatives, they're the biggest bank in the world. and their stock is just tumbling and tumbling. Is that because of that risk exposure that investors are worried about? Perhaps, but it's usually a lot more going on. Deutsche Bank's AG shares and his riskiest bonds dropped the most since the Brexit vote, after the lender said the U.S. Justice Department is seeking $14 billion to settle a probe tied to mortgage-backed securities. Okay, $14 billion is not that much, but when you think about it, for a company that it's been suffering as it is, $14 billion does really become a lot. Not compared to their derivatives exposure, but that's on a totally different game. So that's what I'm seeing at this time. Deutsche Bank had no intent to settle these potential civil claims anywhere near the numbers cited. What's funny about it is it's like they get to decide what they're going to pay. Oh, you want to fine us $14 billion? Well, no, we're not going to have that. Nope. And it'll just go on, Sure, the stock might suffer in a way as there's uncertainty there, but they control the financial system. The financial companies control the financial system. The drug companies control all of the regulations, the FDAs and everything like this. And you have agribusiness controlling the USDA, FDA. You have every industry, the corporations control those sectors of government. And I don't mean as if they're bribing under the table. I'm talking about their people are there in the positions. It's like just leaving the door open so they could sneak in through the back door. But guess what? That back door is just as visible as the front door. You're just not looking at the right place. All right, quickly, I just want to move through these. David Brock offers money for new dirt on Donald Trump. So now this is the new campaign strategy. Look, we're going to pay you big money. If you have photos, video, information that we can use, we're going to pay you if you give us that. That's what's happening right now. This is the really dirtiness that's happening. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Look at the smear photo of Obama. I just wanted to mention it here. It came up on Drudge. I thought it was interesting to note. And last but not least, just 5.7% of Clinton Foundation budget actually went to charitable grants. That's a sin. That is a sin. I've seen very similar. I think it was 5% in the American Cancer Society. I think it was that, or ACA. I can't remember at this time, but one of the cancer foundations. And 95% of all of that money that was being donated was going to the administration of that. And that is sick. That's sad, because you have all these people who, they're just trying to do their part. They think, look, if I vote, if I give money to this campaign, I'm doing my part. But what if your $100 wasn't going there, and in fact, it was just $1 or $5 or whatever it might be? Suddenly, you might have a lot of people having second thoughts. And that's what I'm seeing right here. As you can see, the money is being squandered. It just fills their pockets. They are able to open up charitable foundations, and in many cases, they're good. They're honest companies or whatever you want to talk about it, foundations. But a lot of the time, as far as I'm concerned, the money's squandered. And it's truly sad. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. Head over to Amazon, where they have a look inside feature. That feature allows you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care.